Good evening and welcome to Argo Live. This is, I believe, number 18. We've been doing this for over a year now, and we're having a good time here. Um, I would like to say we're having a better time, but Stacy's showing me that we're not live yet, and I'm not quite sure how that could be because
Uh-oh.
I pressed the big button. Live
Oh,
in
no.
60 seconds, it says. Why don't you reload the page and see if it's good for the nice people? We are here. I should say I am here aboard Stinkpot in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina, at Ladies Island Marina. It's right there. And I'm joined here by our auspicious panel of experts and mariners. We have, of course, Captain Jeff, founder of Argo. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we have Nick Gaffney of Spot On Fishing.
Hey, everyone.
Also part of the Argo team. And tonight we have a special guest, Sean Welsh from Motor Yacht Vector. We're going to be talking a lot with Sean a little bit later on about his travels on the water and all the exciting stuff that he does. But before we get into any of that, we probably should find out what's new with Argo, Jeff.
Sure. Welcome, Sean. Look forward to hearing more from you later. But things are happening with Argo. You guys have probably seen that. We've got, I always try to lead with like, what's the big news? Well, we've got a couple of things this month. We released the wind overlay a couple of weeks ago. It was just a quick MVP, but it provides really good wind particles anywhere in the U.S., Canada, in fact, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be improving that, adding a better color ramp, adding a 72-hour slider. And Dave's going to pull it up and show it here. But it was really an initial attempt at putting that out, and we've already been making some really cool improvements and hope to get that out to everybody by next week. That does show, this is the latest. Well, it's not the very latest, but it's pretty close. It's got a much better color ramp, 72-hour slider there where you can jump ahead and see a forecast. I know we tried to add a little bit more substance to the particles, didn't we, Nick, to make them a little more visible?
Yeah, so what we did on this update is we increased not only the contrast of the particles, but we also increased the size of them. So you have a much better visual when looking at your map. It overlays everything very nicely. And then as the data is being updated, you can see the intensity of the wind based on the scale at the bottom, which we have a couple more improvements coming for that very soon too. But this the way that this interacts with the map now, I think does a great job of allowing you to switch between base maps and overlays really without any confusion.
And we had feedback from one of our users that said, hey, have you thought about using the Beaufort scale in terms of the different wind colors and variations and definitions? And great idea. We're going to be adding that. So that's something you'll see next week. And I kind of didn't even have this on my agenda, but a really big improvement that we made in the month of March a couple of weeks ago was we provided much greater depth resolution, particularly along the shorelines. So if you're comparing what we had a couple of weeks ago to what we have today, it's significantly better in terms of amount of depth data, the resolution. It's improving our contours, improving our routing. So that's super exciting. We're going to continue to improve our charts as we go along here in 2026.
Well, the bathymetric update is obviously something that excites me, and you can really see a difference in the detail here. And outside of the detail, we also added in some new expansions there, which enhanced some auto routing features all over the place. But more importantly, we are compiling this data constantly, as you know. So the system that we have in place is ensuring that you're going to have the latest surveys that we compile from, agencies like USACE or local agencies, NOAA, and it turns out to be this nice seamless compilation that you get right there on your chart.
So yeah, that's been a long time coming. Really excited that we're finally improving our charts, and like I said, we're not done. While he has the demo up here, we'll show you some things that are coming also next week with this. Not only will we have wind, but the opportunity to see a weather radar, rain, lightning. So you got options there of wind, lightning, and rain. And fortunately, it's not raining in Beaufort at the moment, so he's zooming out. You can see some of the rain coverage in the Florida area there. No lightning, but
Let's choose some lightning here. Let's see if there's any to be found. Oh yeah,
oh yeah, yeah.
looks like Kansas.
So it's great for those of you that have multiple apps. You've got your weather app, you've got your routing app, navigation app. We're not at the level of predict wind or windy or some of these that are dedicated strictly to weather, but you get a very good idea of weather, lightning in your area, and you can compare that with your routing and get a forecast. So something we haven't had before. So super excited about that.
Yeah, it just helps you stay informed in one place, right? So it's not designed to replace any of your other ancillary apps, but we understand how important it is to be able to toggle those different layers, whether you want to just see just the rain, or if that's not a concern to you, you can see just where the lightning is around you. And those colors do a really nice job of showing the intensity of those storms and how they build up.
I have to tell you, gentlemen, that I am right here where this is, and that is the wind I am feeling right now. Got it nailed.
That's good to hear. So those are the big items that we brought in March and are coming in the next week. So super excited about that. Some of the other features that we recently added, released yesterday morning. We added, well, actually, let me step back here. Last week with our release, we also added the NOAA's RNC. And as many of you know, they stopped supporting that years ago. It was not available anywhere. NOAA didn't have it on their server, but they've come around to actually taking, and Nick can talk to this a little bit better than me perhaps, but they've taken their ENC and created an RNC style similar to what we used to see, on hard copy charts.
Exactly. It gives you that fun sense of familiarity again. It does come from the latest ENC data, so you're not going to be missing any information there, but it's another nice option that Argo gives you.
So if you missed that, that's under map options where you've got the different map views, standard, satellite, RNC is added there along with the ENC. While we're talking about views, one of the things that happened when we transitioned from Google Maps to the new map base map was we lost our street names, and I know that's not for everybody. You're focusing on navigating on the water, but we've recently added that back in. So those of you that are going to a restaurant, something on and maybe it's not in that view, Dave, but if you, and maybe it's not in this build. If you go to the standard view or the terrain view, yeah, okay, there you go. You've got street names there.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. I was seeing buildings, but no street names. So just a minor tweak we did just this week, bringing that back into the base map. One other thing we did last week, we did promote it a good bit as we brought in Bob Tracks, Bob 423, very well-known paths down along the ICW. a lot of the people traveling along the East Coast doing the loop kind of rely pretty heavily on his tracks. And you've always been able to import them into Argo and then display them on the map. But we made it a little bit a little easier for any user to see that without having to import it from his site. So we're pretty excited about that. And just one other thing, and it's a minor thing, but with our export feature, you've been able to export routes and where you have a case where Active Captain or other applications limit the number of points, you can break those files, that GPX file into multiple files for longer routes, or optimize it to import better into your application. That was only available for routes, but we've now added tracks, so you can do the same thing in terms of exporting to a GPX file and have that optimization option, with both routes and tracks.
Exactly.
So,
We probably should point out, Jeff, since you brought up Bob's tracks, that right now, if people are going to look for it, they might not find it. We have been talking with Bob as we've been bringing this into Argo, and he pointed out something that we really needed to do to make it as good as it should be. So we did shut it back off to make those changes, and we'll get it back in there very, very soon. But we are working directly with Bob, so we didn't want to do it wrong. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you can still import them directly from his website and then display them using our on-map feature, but actually be able to toggle them on, toggle them off directly within the app. Hopefully we can get that back out there next week.
Exactly. Is there any other news that's fit or unfit to print, Jeff, at the moment, or should we start moving forward with the big show here?
Well, a couple of minor things. Again, just to show we are listening to our user base. We had someone that was interested in being able to turn. I guess he was toggling some of the places that we have, some of the nav aids on and off. And he wanted to just very quickly turn them all back on without having to go in and flip each one individually. So you've now got something up top which allows you to turn them all off. I think if you go to map options, click on places there, Dave. Yeah. At the very top, you've got all off, all on. So it's just a minor thing, but that's a user was interested in having an easy way of doing that, so we added it. Another thing, if you're a brand new user, and if you're not, you won't notice it. But for our brand new users, we have a new onboarding, and it provides you with a tutorial for auto routing, a tutorial for search. It really leads them along, gives them information on how to jump right into the app and do something very clearly. And this is something we're going to actually be putting into a feature hub. So tutorials for all of our primary features will be in a feature hub, so you can get kind of an online step-by-step tutorial within the app and not have to go to our website. We've got two that we've put in our onboarding, our current onboarding, and we're hoping to get that plus more into what we're calling a feature hub.
All right.
So yeah, as you can see, we've got a lot going on at Argo. It's a busy place, and we're coming out with new releases almost weekly.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get our guest in here. This is Sean is actually a very good friend of mine. We've known each other now for half a dozen years or more. We met while we were doing the Great Loop at the same time on separate boats. And I've been wanting to have him join us here on our monthly fat chewing session for a little while. Sean, welcome.
Thank you.
So since we've been talking about Bob's tracks, I know you have a little something to do there and have a little bit of insight into what Bob is doing with all that. Can you, since we're bringing it into Argo, can you describe what Bob's tracks are? Sort of give it the little elevator pitch.
Sure. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. Bob has been sailing or motoring, if you will, up and down the ICW for quite a long time on his Beneteau 423, that's where his nickname comes from. Bob 423. It's Bob on a Beneteau 423. And for a long time, he was contributing not tracks, but textual advice about paths through particularly dangerous areas to a couple of the crowdsourced websites like Active Captain and Waterway Guide. And he sort of became known for that. And then at some point, he finally started taking his actual GPS output in the format of GPX format tracks and publishing them. And then over the years, he has added several people to his team of surveyors who are contributing their actual depth soundings that are gathered electronically by the equipment, and then he takes those and kind of aggregates them into excuse me, a best possible track through some of the problematic areas. I am on Bob's survey team. There's probably about 4 or 5 of us, or maybe 6 of us, who as we travel the ICW, we turn on our track recording equipment, which records not only the track, but also the depths along that track, so that Bob could use those to put together his tracks. Many people may know that Bob swallowed the anchor last year, as we say, and is no longer cruising himself. And so now he's 100% relying on the rest of us on the survey team to be providing this track data that he's using to keep these tracks updated on a regular basis. He's been doing this long enough now that he has a reputation in the business. And if any of you have crossed paths with the cruise ships that are run by American Cruise Lines that are doing their cruising up and down the East Coast and the ICW, those cruise ship captains are now using Bob's tracks. And Bob has a good working relationship now with the Coast Guard, their Aton crews, and also with the Army Corps of Engineers. So, when Bob calls the Corps of Engineers and says this area probably needs some attention in terms of dredging, they actually listen to him. So,
oh wow, I can't say they listen to me.
Yeah.
So, what got you into boating? Let's start at your beginning. I think people would be interested in your story.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. Let's just say that I have led a nomadic existence now for 2 decades. My wife and I started our nomadic life in an RV, and we were in that for almost 10 years. And then we decided that we wanted to be able to go a little further afield than just where the roads could take us. And we decided that we would move up to a boat. We probably spent the last 2 or 3 years of our RVing life driving around to a lot of trawler fests and a lot of other boat shows. And during about the last year, we were conducting an active search for a boat, and we finally ended up with one, and we've been on that boat now for 13 years. So 13 years, coming up on 60,000 nautical miles, and we've done the entire eastern half of the U.S., out as far as the Turks and Caicos and through a good part of eastern Canada.
Never gets old. Never gets old, huh?
It does not.
And you are. I'm speaking because I know you. You are on a unique steel trawler. Could you just tell people a little something about your boat and why you chose such a unique vessel?
So it wasn't actually a conscious choice to get a unique vessel. In fact, the RV that I mentioned was also unique. It was a converted German tour bus called a Neoplan. And towards the end of our stay on that, we said, never again will we buy a unique steel conveyance. But here we are in a steel boat. We had a laundry list, like a lot of boat buyers. We had a laundry list of things that the boat had to have. We had a shorter list of things that it could not have, and then we had a lot of wiggle room in between, where we said we didn't really care whether it had one or two engines, and we actually didn't really care what the hull was made of, except we didn't want wood. And as I said, we searched for about a year. And this is the first boat that came along that ticked all the boxes, and that was within our price range, and we ended up with it, and we've fallen in love with it. When we first bought it, it was kind of, well, it ticks all the boxes, but it didn't really wow us. But over the years, we have come to know it and love it, and I wouldn't trade it. So,
Got that. Now,
Now,
go ahead.
no, I was
Somebody
just
else-
curious where Sean has traveled. You pretty much up and down the ICW. Is that your 13 years? I'm sure you've traveled some miles, as you mentioned.
yeah, I could send you a picture of the route. Dave might be able to find that and put it on the screen. But inevitably, if you have to be, as many of us do, if you have to be out of the hurricane zone during hurricane season, and you want to be out of the snow belt during the winter, inevitably you end up going north and south a lot, and the ICW is a convenient way to do that. Our boat draws 6 feet, so our preference is actually to travel on the outside if we can. But the weather's not always cooperative with that, and so we do end up spending a lot of time in the ICW. But as I said, we've been all the way out through all the Bahamian chain, all the way out to the Turks and Caicos. We've been, as Dave mentioned, we've been around the Great Loop. We've been all the way down the western rivers, including both the lower Mississippi and the Tenton, all the way out to Brownsville, Texas, through the Gulf of Mexico. We've been through the eastern part of Canada as well, all the way out the St. Lawrence Seaway and around the Gaspé Peninsula and down through Nova Scotia. So sort of a little bit of all over. But yeah, just because of following the seasons, we've ended up doing a lot of north and south on the East Coast.
Yeah, sure. You've had a lot of great memories.
We do, and more ahead. There's no end in sight, and we're always looking for something new and exciting. After we had kind of done the major loops, as it were, we started doing a little bit more exploration up a lot of the lesser known rivers that people tend not to go up, and we've enjoyed that very much. So
find some hidden gems, I guess.
We have, yeah.
Are there any spots that you would tell a new cruiser, or maybe even an experienced one, the place that they must visit? Some of your favorite places?
Oh, that's so hard. For 20 years now, people have asked us, what are the favorite places, and part of the reason why we live this life is to not focus on any one single place, right? And so it's really, really hard to come up with a list of favorites, or even a list of places to avoid. I think, well, there's places we wouldn't go back, but I wouldn't discourage anyone from visiting there once, because that's then you find out for yourself, maybe this is a place we don't want to go back. So I don't really, there's places that we return to over and over and over again for one reason or another. One of those is New York City. We absolutely love to cruise around Manhattan. We love stopping in New York City. We spend a lot of time in Long Island Sound, but we also spend a lot of time here in Florida, where we are right now. We have our favorite ports, but I'd really hesitate to try to put my finger on one or two and say these are, absolutely you have to do this. So
it's also makes sense, like the nomadic lifestyle, right? There's never one place that you settle for, but It's a good
was,
for a lot of new people too.
what I would say to people who are doing one of the loop trips, or they are going up and down the ICW, is do not ignore the side trips that could take you to some really wonderful places. It takes us 3 days to get to Washington, D.C., for example, from the Chesapeake Bay. But that's a wonderful trip. It's a wonderful place to visit. And, you could spend 2 or 3 weeks in D.C. and be exhausted and still not run out of things to do. I could say that about a few of the other side trips as well.
Absolutely.
Great.
I can vouch for that. I love side trips off of the main. I mean, anybody doing the ICW, you can go up to Conway, South Carolina. You can go up the Cooper River and hit a couple of lakes and get into a lot of trouble up there, really. So the St. Johns River, another one in Florida.
Yes.
So.
Right. That would be a side trip I would recommend to people who are looking for things to do. So many people who, for example, do the Great Loop, they have it in their mind they're going to do that loop and then they're done. But a lot of them along the way say, this is fun. Where can we go next? And that's when you can start looking at, the St. John's trip, for example, in a boat like mine, the 6.5 knot boat. That's a week up at least, and a week back, and then you don't want to go up and back in 2 weeks and spend 1 day, right? So,
right. You have to enjoy yourself. You have to smell the flowers someplace and really take it all in. And even coming down the Western rivers, I mean, the trips to Nashville and Chattanooga et al. Are just fabulous side trips. And it takes you off of the main waterways, which is, important stuff. Now, what would you say the biggest mistake you see people making on the water would be, Sean?
Oh,
we could talk about this for a week, but
we could. But if I had to pick one thing, it's sort of a big thing. It's sort of an all-encompassing thing. The mistake is to think that buying a boat and making a boat trip is a lot like buying a car and making a car trip. And the reality is we grow up in a car-oriented society. So even before you've ever taken your first drive, you know so much about cars. And after you've driven a car for 10 years, it's second nature. So you don't think twice about, let's go out west, or if you're in the west, let's go east and do a 5,000 mile car trip. It's no big deal, and it doesn't require a lot of preparation. Maybe make some hotel reservations, that kind of thing. And a lot of people make the mistake that they think boating is going to be the same. I'm going to buy a boat and I'm going to drive the boat to where I want to drive the boat, without realizing that it's not your lingua franca unless you grew up on the water. And therefore, there's a steep learning curve, and you really need to spend the time to climb that learning curve before it becomes fun to go anyplace. And, I see a lot of people buy boats, and then after they've been on the water for a month, and they're like, this is so hard, because they weren't really expecting that. So if I had to pick one big mistake, it's that mindset. And you really have to go into it thinking, I have a lot of learning to do before I even get behind the helm. And then once I'm behind the helm, I still have a pretty steep learning curve to climb before this becomes the same kind of second nature that driving my car is.
Right. I completely agree. And I mean, we're starting to get close to wrapping this thing up for this month. But I have one more burning question for you, Sean, before we do that. And that would be oatmeal raisin or chocolate chip?
Now, everybody has heard of the famous Captain Cook. What they did not realize is that the little known distant relative, Captain Cookie. So,
right.
But the answer to your question is chocolate chip.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%.
Dave, it looks like we've got
Everybody else?
some questions there. Before we sign off, we should
Oh yes.
talk to.
Let's
Yeah,
get down through those.
Run down that real quickly.
All right. Let's see. Good evening, guys. Ahoy. Who's got the birds? I'm not sure.
Well, I'm all for the Orioles, but I don't know if that's what he's referring to.
No, there was some birds in the background earlier.
Ah,
I gotcha.
I can tell you that I've heard a sort of a chirping sound through the whole call, so I think that's
It's probably me.
it may be Dave. I think it's actually an artifact of somebody's microphone, so but it may be birds.
Who knows? Somebody is concerned here. Curly213 is concerned that adding all these awesome features to Argo may eventually slow it down. Nick, why don't you take that one?
That's a good, fair question, and that's the puzzle that we're always trying to solve. And truly, one of my favorite things is making sure that the app can live up to the expectations of high performance. So we really take the time to break things down to the core and find out, what's going to be best for the application. And a great example of this is something like the wind particles. There's millions of particles rendering, and it's a ton of data all at once. But when you pull it up on your phone, it's seamless. It works very well. You don't have any lag time. So yeah, it's a great question. Will it slow the app down? It could, but we really make sure that it doesn't. And that's an ongoing goal of ours, is to make sure you have optimum performance.
And some astute viewer has noted that I had boat tail grackles behind me, so it's likely the birds were here. They are noisy. Let's see here. Entering boating season in Michigan in a few weeks. Excited to try the new features. Well, thank you. We hope you enjoy those. And I think that's what we have for the moment. So those are the questions. Join us every month at this time. It's the second Thursday?
that's right.
Tomorrow's my birthday, guys, right?
Happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
I neglected to mention it up front because, it's not that important after all. But tomorrow's my birthday. So that's how I knew that it was tonight that we had to do this. Second Thursday.
Yeah, we're glad to be there with you.
Almost.
Almost. We're all right here.
Yeah.
But what's the date of next month's?
May 14th. So it's pretty far into the month, but second Thursday is going to be May 14th.
And I just want to point this out. Curly213 says I don't look a day over 30, so I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it. So I think with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Sean, thank you for being here and brightening this monthly broadcast. Jeff, it wouldn't be the same without you here.
Haven't missed one yet.
It started out, it was just you and me. So
maybe next month. I'm going to be in Anacortes next month. We have a lot of shows coming up over the next 4 weeks. If you're at the Bay Bridge show, if you're at the Annapolis Sailboat show, if you're at the MTOA rendezvous down in Florida, you might see Dave. So we're going to be around. And like I said, I'll be in Washington next month. So it'll be interesting whether I dial in or not. Might be dialing in from the show.
Oh, that could be interesting too.
Yeah.
So, Nick, any final thoughts?
No, just of course another great update that came out. Excited to be here. It's always fun.
Outstanding. Sean, anything you want to push, plug, or further abuse?
Nope. It was great to be here, and I'm happy to take any questions offline if anyone wants to.
Fantastic. And how can people find you offline? Is there a way?
It's probably easiest way to reach me is either on. I'm in all the boating groups on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, and it'll be pretty obvious. Or you can email me, slwelsh@gmail.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, gentlemen. We've got another one in the can here, and I think I'm going to sign it off and thank everyone for joining us. We'll see you on May 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
All right.
Goodbye. Everyone.
Happy boating.
Bye-bye.